Well, I'm going to do two videos. I didn't post the first video because I had to leave a little bit early, so I didn't get to go on the last set, and I wanted to talk to Amy and Jason about how the set went before what was I going to do? Bring you 5 sets and then, hey, I'll get you that one later. I've talked to them now, and I'll make 2 videos. And the only reason being, I could talk about how good Time Is On My Side was. I could talk about, how lucky we were. We won the open trot and the open pace at the Meadows this week. And it's been a good week. But the coolest thing that just happened to me. So this week, I was on my way here, and it's happened before because, there's potholes all over the place with the weather the way it is. The light sensor came on. Now, it wasn't you're about to have a flat tire light sensor that generally happens. It was more of a, I'll tell you exactly what it was. It said my tire was just a little bit lower than the other ones. So I see how they have them set up after they've rotated them, put them back on. It was 36 up front, 39 behind. It showed as one of my hind tires being at 25. Well, as I drove down the road, I get out and looked. It didn't look low to me. So there's nothing I could do anyway. It clearly wasn't a fast leak. I couldn't hear any air coming out, and it wasn't going down. As I drove down the road, it actually went up. 26, 27. I'm like, maybe this sensor's screwed up or something. So I go to the Meadows. I get out. Tires look fine. I get back in the car to come back from the Meadows, and this sensor says 23. I'm like, that's not good. So I was starving. I ordered a pizza. And then I Googled it. I knew there was a bunch of tire places around here, around the Cannonsburg area. So the place that actually put the tires on this car, not this time, but the time before, Al's Tire or whatever, just a small little mom and pop shop here in Cannonsburg. I called them and I said, hey, would you have time to fix a tire real quick? Maybe it's a sensor, but I'm worried that maybe I picked up a nail or something. Okay, so they bring him in. They bring it in, and guy comes back and he said, it's not your left hind tire, it's actually your right front. I have no idea. He explained why, I have no idea. He said there's a little screw in there. I said, okay. He said, don't worry about it, we'll fix it. So I'm sitting down, I'm just chit-chatting with the ladies that are working behind the desk, and lady said, we get talking about something. She said, oh yeah, she goes, I had a great trip. She goes, in October, and I hadn't told her I was from Canada. I told her I was on my way home to Ohio. She goes, in October we went to this beautiful little place in Canada on the East Coast. I start looking. She goes, little place called Prince Edward Island. I said, oh yeah. She goes, yeah, we stayed in this little town. I said, was it called? I said, Charlottetown? She goes, oh, you know the place? I said, yeah. She goes, no, outside Charlottetown. I said, Cornwall? She goes, yeah. You've been there? I said, off and on for the last 2 decades. Before that, I lived there full time. She goes, you're from PEI? I said, yeah. She goes, my family's from PEI. I said, I grew up right beside Cornwall in a little stretch of road, maybe 3 city blocks long, called Kingston. When I was a kid, I lived in Kingston, Cornwall, RR3. It's changed since then. That's where I grew up. She goes, small world. She goes, wow. She goes, yeah, my name's, I don't want to say her first name, O'Brien. Oh yeah, where'd you stay? I think she said it was her uncle. Could be wrong. That's a great story. She goes, my uncle Mike's place. I said, Mike O'Brien? She goes, yeah. I said, Patricia, you're not going to believe this. Your Uncle Mike is one of my father's very best friends on planet Earth. No, he's not. Certainly is. Can't be the same Mike O'Brien. I said, Mike O'Brien from Cornwall, PEI? About 70s, mid-70s, late 70s? Yeah. Any pictures of him? Yeah. She goes, we got a picture of him right here at the racetrack. I said, well, where you took that picture, right behind that wall and at the exit is my mother's office. She's a photographer there. And I said, even funnier, you see that picture? She goes, yeah. She goes, the mural behind it is cool. I said, yeah, it's very cool actually. You see that picture over your left shoulder? She goes, yeah. That's my brother Mark winning the Gold Cup and Saucer when he was 20 years old. He goes, no. I said, yes, it is. I said, your Uncle Mike would be the nephew of Joe O'Brien. She goes, that's right. They have all the races named after him. I said, not only do they have all the races named after him, they have all the top awards in Canada named after him. The O'Brien Awards. I was there last week. She goes, yeah, I heard of them. My brother James won the O'Brien Award for Driver of the Year in Canada 4 years in a row. Now that is, she doesn't go to the races anymore. In fact, I learned after that was the first time she'd ever visited Prince Edward Island in her life. I'm going to guess she's early 50s. And I did not know this, but her father, Terry, who would have been, I assume, Joe's brother, maybe, raced at the Meadows forever. It's not his brother, it'd be his nephew. I think it's his brother. I'm not positive. Nephew. I did not know that a direct descendant of Joe O'Brien from Prince Edward Island raced at the Meadows. He doesn't race there anymore, and he was kind of away from the track when I was just starting to go there 5, 6, 7 years ago. And she had like, if you've ever been to Prince Edward Island, and you all should go this year, make a note. Now, I'll tell everybody right now, if you like the Little Brown Jug and you like golfing, fishing, just top shelf tourism, make sure you at least try to put it on your calendar to go to the Gold Cup and Saucer in August. It is the best time you will ever have in your life. If you're a horse racing enthusiast and you just like to do stuff, go for the whole week. I got looking, she had the mural she's talking about as you walk into the casino. If you were to go upstairs, the entire wall is this mural of old photos of horses and horsemen, races. And Amy gets frustrated sometimes. The last time I was home, I just sat there and looked at it for what seemed like 5 hours. Must be 5 minutes probably. But I knew most of the pictures. The really old ones I didn't know. She's telling me, show me. Apparently this is my grandfather and this is his brother and this would be Joe O'Brien's father, I guess. I didn't know them, but a lot of the pictures on the mural, I said that picture right there, and it was only the horse. The driver was not present. You couldn't see who it was. I looked and I said, you see that picture there? She goes, who's driving it? I said, Dr. Ian Moore is driving that horse. That's the horse named the Papermaker that won the Gold Cup and Saucer. And if they showed the winner's circle photo, you would see maybe an 11-year-old boy named Mark McDonald holding that horse by the head and hoisting the trophy for the Gold Cup. I wasn't expecting an afternoon of nostalgia, but it was just about the coolest thing that has happened to me all week. Joe O'Brien's granddaughter, I guess, relation of some sort in that line, working in a tire place in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, and I happen to come across her, and her friend comes in, the other lady comes in, she goes, found the culprit. She's got a little screw, it's about that long, a square-headed screw. She goes, you know where you picked that up? I said, not only I tell you where I picked it up, I know exactly what it's used for. She goes, no you don't. I said, yeah I do, and I know exactly where I ran over it. She goes, I have never in my life, I worked here a while, I have never in my life heard anybody other than people say, I don't know where I would have ran over that. I said, yeah, you just saw your first. I said, that dear is a screw that's inserted into a trotting toe weight on a horse, and I picked it up outside of the barn the other night. I pulled the car up to the doorway. It was one of the mild nights last week, and I had parked beside the track. It was dusty, and there was dust all over my car, and I just got it washed that afternoon. And I grabbed a bucket of hot water and just threw it on the hood of the car. I couldn't take it anymore. I said, I guarantee you, on that little ramp was that screw that you're holding in your hand. Anyway, 10 minutes about O'Brien in the middle of Pennsylvania. That was cool. Anyway, two tires are all fixed. Screw's been removed. Everything is well with the car again. I'm on my way back to Northfield Park, and obviously leaving with a smile on my face. You know, a lot's gone on with Tom. Is on my side the last 3 weeks. You know, that butchery of a park job that I gave him. I was wondering how it would play a role. We weren't able to really train him tight, nor did I really want to. You know, we have a long year scheduled for Time Is On My Side this year. And when I finally sink my teeth into the calendar this weekend, I am going to map out a little more concrete-wise what the rest of his calendar will look like. These are great races, but he wasn't his best today, and you can tell. I mean, I knew that Aaron was going to leave, and he was probably the horse to beat. I knew that Lunar would leave. I knew that the 3 and the 4 would leave. The 1 was kind of a poser in that class. He was a filler, but he can leave. I drove him 3 starts ago. Everybody on the gate could leave. And as the favorite, I was likely going to assert myself early. Last thing I wanted to be getting parked again. Oh my God almighty. But as they said go, Time just fell off the gate. Usually when his feet are hurting him or something's hurting him now. We just had him shod maybe 3 days ago. Right before he got on the truck to come back to Tim, we had him shod. And we weren't able to train him tight. That was playing on my mind. A lot of these horses had raced within the last week. He's going on 11 days, I think, 12 days, something like that. Without a big training mile. And this is, you can't just step into that role and beat up on these horses off the better part of 2 weeks without training hard. But the goal wasn't just to win the race, but was to take care of the horse. And as they said go, I knew he wasn't bad. He wasn't lame or anything like that. And maybe he was a little shell-shocked from getting burned up last time, but he didn't want any part of leaving. His nose fell off the gate. I looked left, I looked right, I tapped him on the tail. He's like, I don't think so, bud. I said, okay, fine. It's all right. As I saw them going into the first turn now, I didn't know that Brady would move and play such a big role in the race. I just didn't know if he was an open horse, Johnny Sack. I didn't know if he was an open horse. He looked good, and he looked really good his last win, but that was way down in class. And I really didn't know, one, does he belong in there? But most importantly, are you going to be able to come first over and do in there, or are you just going to be stalled cover? The way the race shaped up was actually okay. I was fine with it because Lunar, I assumed that the young Hanners kid wasn't going to come all the way from Miami Valley just to duck this thing and run over everybody in the last turn, you know, blind switch him, and I figured he'd get him out. But as he started down the backstretch, he didn't move him. I guess I can't blame him. Dave Palone's horse was bet down. Aaron was bet down. My horse was somewhere in the caboose, and hadn't really shown up yet. So maybe there was no need for him to move. Brady's horse grinded right up along. Even when I moved him down the backstretch, though, he wasn't quite as sharp. Felt a little flat-footed, but you could tell like he's a competitor. He wasn't 100% today, but he's a competitor. And as I caught up to Brady in the last turn, I had to make sure that Hunter didn't get the jump on me. So I'm about 2.5 wide. He got me yesterday. Well, it didn't matter. I didn't have as much trot. It was a lower race. But he got out around me, kind of pinned me down. Didn't matter, but he wasn't going to get me in the open. I can guarantee you that. So I'm 2.5 wide in the turn. We come out of the turn. I'm like, you're going to have to dig deep, bud. And they're not going to lay down for you. And he did. Just that's what winners do, right? We talk about that all the time. Winners win. And he could have been fourth beat 3/4 of a length. And you're like, a little short. You know, that tough trip last time kind of broke a piece off his soul maybe in the short term. Maybe he just wasn't as good. Man, he's a nice horse. Everything I just told you is completely accurate. Here's a horse that can leave 26. Well, it was up the quarter in 25-4 at Northfield Park last summer. He didn't even want to leave out of the gate today. Anyway, you're going to have days like that, and any time, and I tell you this all the time, good horses overcome, right? He was not at his best today, but he still ended up getting his picture taken, and that's what good horses do. So, a great race by him. I'll talk about the 2-year-olds that were training this morning. I'll open my iPad and I'll run through those quickly for you. We have some horses racing tonight. I'm excited to watch them race. It's about to get nasty in Ohio, and I believe in Ontario also. There's going to be a ton of snow coming, switching to rain. The track crew is going to have to be at their very, very best tomorrow. If the weather is right, the track crew is going to have to be at their very best tomorrow to be able to get Northfield to race. I don't see it being a very easy thing to do. I'm excited. One of our partners, Jim, is coming into town. We're going to have a bite to eat tomorrow night, talk about the horses. We've talked about, I've given you guys an open line of communication for the staking. It's locked in now. It's Valentine's Day. It's locked in now. I should stop on the way home. Amy and I went out to eat last night. She's not a big Valentine's, birthday, Christmas type person, but probably should get her something. Well, other than me, of course. So everything is locked in now, and it's nice. It's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. Just got to hang out with a direct descendant of Joe O'Brien for half an hour or so. And the pizza, if you're in the area, Big Guy's Pizza, not far from the Meadows, pretty good. I had a few pieces left. I left it with the girls. I didn't need it anymore. So I'm on my way back to home right now. Now the kids were off today. A beautiful day to go do exactly what they're doing. They all went to the ski hill and they're going tubing. Well, Addie has never gone tubing before. She tried to ski last year. She tried, but she's never been tubing before, so it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to swing by with a second round of Starbucks. This one, though, for my wife and the ladies. I keep forgetting her name. It's not Michelle. Melissa. Warm them up at the ski hill, and then that'll be it for Friday. Now I'll be watching the races, same as you will be tonight. I'm eager to see how Never Lose Felix is going to do. Never Lose Felix is going to leave early tomorrow morning for Pennsylvania. Rosetta is going to leave Sunday from Northfield to Ontario. Now, Never Lose Felix is the weather that's coming in has got the trucking company a little scared also. He said, Anthony, would you mind if we left really early in the morning, like late at night? And I said, yeah, no, I don't care, Dave. That's fine. The horse will be fine. I'd asked Dominic to pick up, you can buy the little syringeable tubes of electrolytes. Usually the day after the horses race, they get electrolytes, but I had asked him if he could give him a tube of electrolytes and maybe some anti-inflammatory after the race for the ship over to Northfield Park, which should do him some good. So that'll be good. That is the start of next week. We still have to get through this week. Foxy Seaside tonight also. Excited about. Saturday, Sunday, we have JK Victory. We're having a great run so far this week. JK Victory is going to race on Sunday. And I'm going to make my way to Ontario. It's going to be cold. It'll be a cold night in Ontario. But I'm going to make my way there to drive Spitfire overseas in the open trot. Race 2 should be over by 7 o'clock. I'll be in my bed by 11:30 in Brunswick, Ohio, if all goes well. So, I hope all is well with you. Hope you've had a great week. I will talk to you maybe later on, not tonight. I'm done for the day. I'll talk to you tomorrow about how our horses raced at Mohawk tonight. Good luck to all my partners. I will talk to you all. Well, in a minute, I'm going to do the 2